Tell me about it. You're a sailor.
Yeah, say that I had an affection, and so my wife. We married at a very early age, and we were enjoying to sea. We were by the seaside, and we had a very little boat. Normally, we would go after the work. I would come. We would go to fishing together, and that was a lot of fun. And then a small boat, and then. When I say small, like 7 meters sailing boat, and then 9 meters fishing boat. So that's how it started. And during the span of my lifetime, when I was very busy working, it was a relief to go to sea, enjoy. And living in Istanbul, then it was not very heavily populated as at this time. So it was a big pleasure for us just to spend some time. And then during the course, of course, it developed, and then a 43-foot sailing boat, and a 50 feet sailing boat. And then I was always reading these boat magazines and research and this, and then I said I should go and see the Vripac company, because I was following Dick Boone. There was no social media then, but it was only more boat magazines. Because of my affection to sea and sailing and simplicity, I thought that they were the naval architects. He was the naval architect to Insabi, and Dutch people are, they have a very simple life. They don't show up, and for lunch they eat only sandwiches. They ride a bicycle. Regardless of how wealthy they are, they have the same lifestyle. So with my wife, I walked into their office, and I saw Dick Boone, and we get acquainted. He was very nice. He extended hospitality. I said, "What do you do?" And he had a big affection. And then he was the creator of Doggers Bank. That's a kind of, tugboat, a renewed version of tugboat, because I was not for a fancy one, but more a seagoing with a character. It has to be, robust. And Dick Boone was the man, and he was for me a hero, and one of the four naval architects in the world, in my understanding of yachting. So we got friends together, and I explained what I want, and he showed me some sketches, and then I met Bart, and he was taking over the company. Dick Boone said, "Look, we are in transition, and Bart is taking over. But if you give us the order, I will follow your business." So could you imagine a naval architect like Dick Boone? He came to Istanbul, and he was a very obstinate man. He would say, he would say, "Dick, it's too costly, or could you?" "No, over my dead body." So, but I went his way. I did what, and it has been very successful. And then we enjoyed that yacht a lot, and we had, over the Atlantic and Caribbean visits. Was very tough, an expedition. And so I had the idea, because I'm coming from business, from, at the early time, I said that the span of a boat for me is everything changes so quick, from skis to tennis rackets to fashion and everything. And even standard furniture like table, chairs, and everything evolves. So I said, maybe it's right time to sell this before 10 years, because then it's still new. And so I thought that went, but before I sold, I ordered the new version of it, because technology develops. So then VATV, EE, it's the same concept. So is that a super yacht? Yes, with 42 meters, 900 square meters of living space.
Yeah.
It is, and it has been awarded actually twice, one in Istanbul and here in Monaco for the best design layout, and it has been very successful. But looking at it, also Dick and Bart said the segment which I am in, yachting, is true yachtsmanship, and it's only 10% of what you see in Monaco Yacht Show or Fort Lauderdale everywhere. So my category of is like Espanyol's, some of his designs in super yachts. So it's type. It's a kind of
It's a niche.
expedition. Yeah. It's in the niche. Not most people maybe don't enjoy, and because they don't know it. But it's
because there are no sailors.
Yeah, they haven't sailed it. It's because it's like a cruise ship. In fact, all the cabins are you don't go down. You climb up to see the climb. So I mean, it has its characteristic in that way. I'm very happy to own it. Yeah.
That's great. So coming back, your love for the sea. Were you born and raised on the coast or in Istanbul?
Yeah, in my childhood we were on the coast, and then we moved to Ankara where I studied, and then come back to Istanbul, got married, and then again we lived on the seaside where I could keep a very small boat and take it out of the water in the evenings and put it in the water back again.
Nice.
Or nearby there was a kind of like a small river. We could go in the river, like Mondolia there, and I could keep the boat there. That was a kind of small fishing boat, so we could go to Bosphorus and catch bluefish.
Yeah.
When we didn't have any boat, when we first get married, then we were rowing, because they would up for 1 or 2 hours. You could rent a rowing boat, and then we just go out 1 mile or even less and catch some fish, local fish, and come back and fry it and eat it.
It's nice. When was the first time you went on a boat? Do you remember that? And who was responsible for it? Or you just said, I
my
want to be
uncle,
on a boat?
when I was age of 6, from cardboard, he made me a small boat. So he put me in it, and it was a row. I was scared, as he said that, but it was very difficult to keep the balance. He said that you don't just move too much, otherwise it may capsize. So that's how I started. And I felt that it's because we were so hard working, So maybe the reason why I enjoyed more is the relief of being out and having a space away from everything. And then when we bought a sailing boat that was a Bernota Oceanis 43 feet with my wife, which was delivered on the Spanish-French border almost. So we went there. Some friends say that, yeah, it's very tight inside. How do you sleep there? You go in the cabin and this. But I said, it's not that. I mean, when you are on the steering wheel, when you see the horizon, it's huge. It's huge. So that's what I like, actually.
These sensations.
The sensation,
Yeah.
It's freedom of being out there. And now I always I'm in fresh air, walking in the mountains and trails and this and that. So that's luxury actually for me.
Yeah, that makes
Of
sense.
course, and then when you are aging, comfort comes with it.
Naturally. Because we don't have the same capabilities and capacities.
I mean, sailing is not easy,
It's a hard sport. A demanding sport.
Yeah, it's demanding.
But you are loving it.
Yeah, I
What about your wife? Was she also in
She
Nautica, or did you?
she was scared. She was very good at fishing because we were doing coast fishing, and with those 12-inch horsepower Volvo Penta, it was so small. We could not go so far because we didn't have any navigation equipment. No, nothing. It was all visual, no chart, nothing. We could always see the shore. So it will be like half a mile or so, sure, and do fishing. So it was okay. But when I got the sailing boat, it got serious, and I had to have a license and charts and everything. And there was no chart plotter or anything that time, so you had to work out the whole system. And so slowly, she started, and we start 5 miles, 15 miles, and let's say stay over. Gradually, she became a good sailor.
Yeah.
And she not only became a good sailor, but also a chart reader.
Ah, there you go.
And now, 2 years ago, I bought a speedboat, keeping it captive. The boat came. There was no compass and no map, nothing.
No
So
GPS, nothing.
I said, I'm old school. I said, no, it's inserted. Everything is electronically is there. The chart and the compass and everything, more than you need. I checked, it's okay. But what happens if the system goes? I don't know where I am.
Yeah.
So I said, please put on board one compass and a map, so
you're not
that I
solely
know,
dependent on electronics.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that makes sense. Is she enjoying the speedboat?
We have one in Istanbul, one, and here in Turkey. She enjoys very much.
Oh, I can see that. So based upon your love for the sea, pretty much, and not only the love for the sea, but what you described, the moments of solitude, relaxation, recharging your batteries,
exactly.
so to say. This is really what you're all about, and
Yes.
the yacht is nothing else than a tool to fulfill it.
Yeah, there's one part of it which you like it, but it depends on the yacht. So that's why I choose Vripac, and we understood each other because they are also old school people, but adding up technology and they can of course do fancy yachts if a customer wants. They do everything, but they don't enjoy doing that, I think.
No, so it's you found somebody who thinks like you.
Yeah, exactly.
Has the same kind of
Exactly. For
notion.
instance, maybe I become a close friends with Boone. At that time, we were in Miami, Florida. I invited him, and my intention was to go to Alaska. So I said, Dick, this should be a yacht which you are doing should enable me to go to Alaska. I said, Murat, yes. And he put a bulb and then nozzles, and I said, yeah, Murat, you never know, this adds 5%. I mean, the Dutch mentality is always, you have to think economically also. It says that it saves you 5% of fuel consumption. I said, yeah, okay, then we put, and so everything is,
as efficient and
return on
effective as
investment.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, come to Florida. He came and with his girlfriend, and now there's still his partner. And then he said, Murat, don't go to Alaska, don't go to Caribbean. I said, why? He said, don't you rely on the yacht? No, he said, it is not that. Once I have been a client of mine, invited me to Alaska. I was on his boat. It said the nature is so beautiful. I liked it so much. I said, okay, guys, I'm going shore to have a walk. Ah, no, Dick, don't go. Why? Because there are grizzlies. they can eat you alive. So I said, I could see, but I'm stuck in port, I can't go. Then he said, the sea is so clear, so beautiful, I want to have a swim. I said, no, you can't swim. Why not? It is 5 degrees centigrade.
Yeah, it's not very
So
hot.
he says, I mean, it is pros and cons always in life, it gets together. So
And-
nice, but you cannot step foot on the shore, you cannot swim in the sea. So what's the point of it? Go somewhere else. But
Did you
it
go?
is very comfortable. Yeah, we went to Caribbean and we have seen all Caribbean islands.
But not to Alaska.
Not to Alaska, no. He said for Alaska, better take a small cruise ship. Because you may get more diving if you don't put your foot on the. I'm a sailor. I enjoy yachting, but not that to stay outside like of a merchant ship captain or this navigators around the world. I see in yacht club. I mean, they do amazing, and their affection is more than me, definitely.
But you also want to go on shore.
Yeah, I mean, mine is more, now more for enjoying on and off and, restaurants, swimming, partying. It becomes social and mixed.
Ah, so social, which kind of is on the opposite spectrum of solitude. So you mix the both?
Yeah, in fact, I do. I do. Either we travel 2, 3 boats together sometimes, or invite people. Because if the other in Turkey is you have so many friends, and bypassers says come hello for a coffee or this, so it becomes also an attraction of a social meeting point. Everybody wants to get invited on a yacht or going places. So in that respect, it's very nice. So you invite your friends and have a cocktail, have a nice time or play backgammon. So it's not only expedition, because expedition vessels give you the opportunity of having a lot of space. But it doesn't mean that you have to spend your time all the time
Solitude,
cruising one part,
yeah.
and after some time, after seeing most of the places, where would you go? The world and those nice places are not going for better, but they are declining because of the pollution and increase in population
Global
and
warming,
everything.
increase in
And then
population.
it's a big hassle.
Yeah. But when you have the social interaction, they also give you energy
Yeah,
in a
it
way.
does, of course,
Yeah.
yeah, it does.
That's nice. So you use it kind of as a vessel for your own well-being.
That's true. And now my wife enjoys more. In summers, I don't go very much, but it's also a place for my wife where she can play cards. It's so designed. So a custom-made yacht is that you give a briefing to the architect about your social life, where you sit, how you watch television, where you have your breakfast, the way you want to go into sea, come off the speed, and your daily activities, social pleasures, like my wife plays cards and this.
And you play backgammon.
I play backgammon, so I play backgammon at the back, and she plays cards in the front, and so there's a card room and this and that. So it's sophisticated in that respect. So the client should know actually what they want. So the more information and you brief the builder, the architect, interior architect, and for the who's making the layout, is you get a more successful result. But now it's your field. I don't want to interfere into that. But now I think some people they don't know what they want. For instance, I don't know how to buy a car. I'm more a yachtsman and then a land person. I mean, I don't know the torque of Ferrari, Porsche, or this and that. Just you give me a car and I drive it.
It's a form of
Yeah,
transportation.
and they say that, but Murat, this is Bugatti. This engine power, so acceleration, the velocity is in 1 second to this and that. I don't understand, but the enthusiasts, they do. But when it comes to, is the brand, or can I buy a Ferrari? Yeah, if I want to, but I don't know how to use it, and I mean,
It doesn't meet what
but
you're
with the
looking
yacht,
for.
so in this yacht shows, I have seen people, and when talking to these brokers, they say that most of the women chooses the interior. They fancy the interior, and they like the carpet or the bed sheet or the picture on the wall, and the vase and cleanness and this and that. They never go to engine room, and
They just
yeah,
needed
they
to
fancy it
go.
and they
Yeah.
buy, yeah, and so also, well, it's different, of course.
No, I absolutely agree with you, and I know where you're coming from, because the job of somebody you're working with is not to find out which kind of technical specification you
Yeah,
want. The question is, what kind of experience do you have when you're on the boat? What
yeah,
is
exactly.
important to you? And your wife says, I want to play cards up front. You want to play backgammon. You want to have space for your family. You want to be independent.
Yeah, in
You want to
evening,
have a reach.
evening, I would like to watch a TV, and so there should be a pop-up TV or a large TV which I would watch comfortably. My wife would like to have access from her cabin to the deck, separate access, so she would not confront with people or anybody if she doesn't want to. For instance, I mean, it's very detailed, but this details in our case stamped from the needs of or our social life since
Your
at the
personal
beginning.
needs, yeah. And that makes complete
Yeah,
sense.
exactly.
But
My girls were little, I was suggested that not to have a racer sailing boat with a long mast, but rather cruising, not to have the waves on deck. And it was so we had a selection of Benata. So I mean, when it's yachting, it has to be smart decision. Otherwise, you may be offered many things, from submarine to tugboats, or all kind of fancy yachts and everything. But it's what you like, I think.
yeah. And did Repack address that? Or did you go to Repack and say, look, this is my lifestyle, design the boat? Or did they ask you, what is the experience you would like?
I had a briefing with Dick Wood and Bart, and they addressed this needs.
Okay.
They
That makes
addressed in ENE also. There was one other Dutch interior that Vripac made the layout and all the plans and navigation, and layout made by Artline, another Dutch company, and they did also very smart. So I said every furniture should be multifunction. I want a table for 6 to 8 people. If need be, it should be 10 for 10 people. Everything should,
flexible according to your needs.
flexible to needs. If we have 8 people on board, the seating will be 8 people. If 10 people. So they did very smart. They put some things here, but when you put it under the table, it becomes like the base becomes
foundation,
like a rose. And the coffee table, you know, something comes out like this, you can put your coffee or magazine, and then they close it. So that's what the card table, you know, you have to think of, I said we have to think for, you know, put the chips, cars, water glass,
Or
tea
tea,
glass,
yeah.
coffee. I mean, I said not, it should look simple, but also very functional and multi-purpose.
Oh, that's Scandinavian design, you know. So that was easy for them.
Multi-purpose. So that company did that also,
Huh?
and with lights, and they used marble and very nice wood. It was very nice. They were very successful.
Was it a long process? Was it okay? We listen to your ideas, then we come back with a proposition. You're like, okay, let's modify it a little, or was it more like you came out and
You
you
know,
say, that's it?
on technical things, on engine room and layout design, that's why I go to Vrpac, because I'm not a naval architect nor an engineer. And they said, Murat, we advise you to have a tank test. Because sea is serious.
Yeah.
Tank test. So there, we had a tank test facility in Turkey. It's a kind of 80 meters long pool. But the one in Holland, where also they do American Navy ships and all kind of vessels,
Stress testing, yeah.
testing. So what basically they do, they put the vessel of 3 meters. They make a mold, put it in water, so it makes waves.
It simulates the environment.
Simulates. I mean, they do simulation on paper also.
Or
And
in the
then
computer
put,
these
on
days.
the
Yeah.
computer simulation, it's there. But then they make the mold and they put it on the pool for real simulation. They say that, okay, give me 5 force wind from 45 degrees. No.
And see how it reacts, yeah.
Waves come. And then, okay, from back, from front, make 9 force, whether could the vessel stand. Then they measure, there are all the sensors. For instance, my captain was there also. So he said in heavy seas, coming from front, the deck takes a bit much more water, which he didn't want. So Vripac and they were together, and then they make the ball more like this. So
More streamlined, so it doesn't stay.
and
Water
like,
flows off.
Like 10 centimeters, 15 centimeters, like this. I mean, it's I take it seriously.
Yeah, you have to, because you're out on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not only interior. So on those things, well, of course we are our engineers, but you have to trust, and they did very well.
They delivered on the trust.
No, they did the plans, and the boat was built in Turkey, and Turkey is now very good in this super yacht industry.
Without any doubt, yeah.
Craftsmanship is very good, and they spend more hours, but they do very well. So it went all right.
Yeah, I mean, Turkey is, when you look at it, you have got
Yeah.
the craftsmanship, you just have lower labor costs. Product is the same, just
And you know, so the size of the boat is matters. Now, what I understand, since you are researching high net worth individuals, I think high net worth individuals also differ on disposable income, as you put it.
yeah.
I mean, they, yes, have become bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't understand why. For me, 42 meters is the optimum size, because
Oh, sorry.
because now EU has adopted, starting with France and Italy, adopted a new rule of anchoring. So up to 20 meters you can be close to shore, like 300 meters, then from 20 to 50, 50 to
Farther out, farther
over
out,
50.
farther. Yeah.
And then, for instance, they say that Riviera is, is such a place that all the American artists, I have been to Paris, I have been to
the Côte d'Azur,
Riviera, Côte
the
d'Azur,
Riviera Ponente, yeah.
Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo came on wherever, Caprio is on that yacht. And what do these people do? They cannot go to shore because the boat is not
It's too
allowed to
large.
go.
Yeah.
So they would go either Villefranche, Cannes, Saint-Tropez, or
Ventimiglia, Loano.
Campera,
Yeah.
and 1 mile to the sea. So to go to restaurant or anywhere, at the end of the day, they are a small craft,
Yeah, no, we can see an overall tendency that the boats become, the desirable boats become shorter and shorter. So the most popular is now between 20 and 35 because it has all the advantages regarding anchoring. It's a perfect compromise between how much managing the crew needs, the captain needs. Cost-wise, it's the best alternative.
Yeah, exactly. Now, for instance, in this yacht show, I have seen a Turkish-built yacht, again, Vripac design, rock. For me, it was the most beautiful in that category, designed yacht, very smart. All comes, it was again the Doggers Bank concept of the boom. I mean, it's very Dutch. The owner is also a nice yacht man. And they are doing this for trade. They have a shipyard. It's rock series, 20 meters. Very smart. Rock series yacht, can anchor at Cape Ferrat and you can still swim. If you are apart from that the zone, then you have to carry more chain and this and everything gets complicated.
Yeah, and we can also see that more and more people go for a catamaran.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's more stable, it has more space. I mean, if you go on a 35-meter catamaran and you go on the deck and you're like, Jesus Christ, so much space.
Jasmine, my first one was 37 meters. And this one is 42 meters, which because in Turkey we thought that it's like mountains come like this, and then there are rocks. You can from stern can tie yourself to the rock, so it's for easy. 42 meters is the limit for them. So all those methods,
No, I know where you're coming from, and the question is why people go bigger and bigger. It's often has to do with family growing. So they are young entrepreneurs, they're gonna get married, then they're gonna have children, then they're gonna have grandchildren, then they use it more and more social, like you do, so the yacht will grow. The other segment that we see there is people who have the love for creating a boat. So they have the thrill of creating something.
That's true.
And in the moment it's done, they don't have any more attention to it or affection to it. They say, let's build another one and make it bigger. So we find both extremes. So one gets the pleasure out of just building, creating, so the pleasure of creation.
This ENE has been awarded, and me myself, the ethical yachting first year award of Monaco Yacht Club, and I was awarded by Prince. And then Bernard Alessandro said, Murat, you become a jury member of us also. Now I have become a jury member of Monaco Yacht Club who's
For the
selecting
design, yeah.
different categories. And we have people from all over. Maybe you should be also a jury member. And all over from America, from Italy, and this and that. All categorization is trying to select the yacht who fits to the best super yacht in different categories. So that's what I see more. It's creation. And the other day I was talking to Bart. I said, "But what are they?" He said, "Now they are thinking to hydrogen." Now the thing is also you have to be ethical,
Sustainable.
sustainable, and energy concerned. I mean, this everybody is trying that. Otherwise, you cannot sell anything.
Yeah. I mean, we had, when we came from the Cannes Yacht Show, we had one of the prominent members saying, because there was the incident that people were attacking a particular company in Cannes for their, how shall I say, questionable practices in terms of how they use carbon footprint and so on. And this gentleman said, if we don't watch out, we're going to be next. And I said, this is not the kind of public relation we need in the super yacht industry. I said, yes. And we now conducted a piece of research during the Monaco Yacht Show about the influence of sustainability, for the entire industry. And also we're working with Seabest there about the research project. But one thing we find out is that the industry perceives it differently than the clients, and there's a big gap on, and it's catching up.
But
Companies
the
like,
ones that,
yeah,
the clients who really, for instance, the boats, they had all characteristics. There was a sailing boat you may have seen here. It's a big, huge, like a naval vessel, So, I mean, it's they don't use propulsion. They create their electricity.
Yeah.
They have wind power,
Yeah.
sun power, and this and that. So that's creation.
Yeah, and it's kind of the self-fulfilling prophecy. People
Yeah.
like you, or the people that buy sunreef yachts, they
Yeah.
buy it because they really believe in it. They're not just talking; they're believing in it. They say this is the only way we can do it.
And so they spend money, energy to be creative and at least, nature friendly and sustainable. They use all this. And now the industry is leading there.
Yeah, and it's
And the yacht builders and so providers. For instance, Caterpillar. I mean, it's like Boeing aircraft or Rolls-Royce aircraft engine.
yeah,
Every time you see that it's more fuel efficient, more fuel. Every year, 3%, 4%. Since 1970s, is more fuel efficient. The plane
yeah.
is more lighter. It's
Evolutionary principle.
Dreamliner. It's
Yeah.
epoxy. No more aluminium.
Yeah.
So the industry is leading that way. So if you are out, I think.
I mean, we can see it when we talked first about with Sunreef. It was a few years ago, and we say this will not go away. But you are the first one, so you will see the rewards in 5 to 6 years, because people like you also don't want to be associated with something that has a
Yeah,
reputation
exactly.
that's non-friendly to our planet and for the generation that comes
Yeah.
after us. Makes sense.
So I mean, in that respect, they took that into consideration. But now the new boat is over 10 years. Time flies by, but this sector, the engines, everything develops.
Yeah.
Now, Caterpillar, for instance, they come with new ideas every year. More fuel efficient, more this, more that, you know.
More fine tuning. I mean, we see similar.
Generators in ENE, and you know, it's ABS, and we have a gray water treatment system. It's top of the line for American standards, like most yachts do. They
Yeah.
don't pollute. Some people
No.
say that there are so many acid monocoin in front of beach club, the sea is dirty, they are putting all their waste. I say no. They are not allowed to do that. They don't do it because they have a factory down there. And in United States, within a 3-mile zone, you cannot throw piece of bread to the sea, even bread.
But again,
After 3 minutes, it changes. You know,
Yeah.
after 3 minutes, you can put degradable on the sea. Like, I mean, but you can throw away bread or something.
but you know, you have the insights. Most people just have perceptions of the industry and everything
Yeah.
in general. And perceptions are not always meeting the facts. But the challenge is perceptions are reality for people, even if you present
Those
the
yachts, you know, discharge gray water almost like drinking water.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
they-
you regenerate
Yeah,
it perfectly
regenerate
in
everything.
thousands. It's perfect.
I mean, they take seriously, so
Because they have to.
they have to.
Makes sense.
And marinas and everything. So that's how the yachting is. And well, you have also said that you have to abide with it because that's the most important thing is to be friendly with the ecosystem and not go against it.
Yeah. I mean, we have other industries where it's where these things are probably more relevant, like private aviation. You know, when somebody tells us, well, I know taking a Challenger from here to New York all by myself is not the most sustainable one,
No.
but the time I save for my team, for myself doing it, it's worth it. And we're like, yeah.
Well, I mean, in that one should not be also that romantic.
You mentioned return on investment.
Yeah, and it may make a sense. Now, I was telling my daughter said, who is now heading the company and chairwoman, said that in COVID people experienced you can do Zoom conferences and this, but it's not the same. Talking with you on Zoom is not the same as we are, and we have more eye contact, and you know, next time if I see you at yacht club or somewhere, I will say, come Professor Claus, let's have a beer here or a coffee here. It's getting social.
Yeah.
You know the people better, and then you understand each other better. So online you can't do that. So I think and now we are urging our companies, asking to people come back to office, stay here, socialize, and talk to each other. You know,
Yeah,
in
it
a
cannot be
social way.
substituted.
Let's eat. We have a big table. Let's eat together here, and you know what movie have you seen, and this and that. It's not only business. So it makes sense. I mean, flying to New York or there to see. I myself fly air private to avoid layovers in short distances. Otherwise, I mean, from going Nice to Izmir, for instance, is only 2.5 hours. But if I go through Istanbul, it becomes with the layovers around 8 hours. So I fly. So that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense because again, it's the time
Yeah.
savings that comes with it. And I understand when somebody tells me, yes, but also when you think about it, you probably take your business partners on a private jet,
Exactly.
and why you're on the private jet? Because it's intimate and you know it's secure. You can talk about the deal and pretty much finish it.
Exactly.
Well, when you're in first class, you're like, we cannot talk about this right now. Let's wait until we land and have a meeting.
No, they hassle at the airports. You have
security.
No,
I have to take a flight later on to Brussels. I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, you have to have a carry-on. Never, especially Brussels is very difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
I always travel carry-on. No more luggage. Well, Professor Klaus, I think anything you want, we have to get. It's a big pleasure for me to.
No, the pleasure is mine.
No, you're not professor. You are very, very, very. I mean, it's size. The bottom line is size, and the numbers. That's what you do. And I respect that.
Oh, that's very kind of you. I mean, we are delighted to have you, and please feel free to stop anytime.
Yeah, we hope next time you are here, we can have lunch at Yacht Club and speak more about yachts. It will be great pleasure for me.
Yeah. Oh no, it would be delightful. You tell me, I'm always here because I got an apartment also here. So I'm always here from Monday to Wednesday. So if you want to come together.
And the rest of the week, where are you?
I have property in Italy with my kids.
Which part of Italy?
I live in the Riviera Ponente. So next to Loano, we have a little marina there. A little marina.
I love Italy. It is the Italy, the only, the most country which I enjoy more is Italy. Everything. The food, the wine, the people, and architecture. When I go to Firenze, for instance, I cry. Seeing that art makes my eyes get. I said, how they do? I mean, it's the creators of everything is the design, Renaissance. Even the color of the shirt, a simple man, normal man, a waiter. When you see the jacket, his necktie, the
shoes. Always look a man at the shoes. The gentleman at the shoes.
And the shoes, and the way they say, you grazie. It is the charm.
Yeah, it's a different culture. I mean, my ex-wife is Italian, so our kids are half and half. So we have them half of the time. So I always have them 1 week with me and 1 week with my ex-wife. So it's perfect. And we have all the property there. So it's very nice.
Where is the property exactly?
One is in Poisano.
Poisano.
Yeah, one is in Bardino and one is in Pontenrea. They're all close to Finale Ligure because I'm a passionate mountain biker. I come from the sports industry, so this brought me to Italy. Yeah.
Liguria is all delicious based on fish.
Yeah. I mean, now we have no more industry. Everything is gone pretty much. We have Genoa, which was a big shipyard back in the days. Now it's more for refitting and for cruise ships, and it's tourism. Everybody lives off tourism. Yeah.
In Czechoslovakia, because for 3 years I had Hamburg's Far sailing boat.
Yeah.
My affection came back. But I sold it this year at Czechoslovakia. During the COVID, there was 10, 11 cruise ships. They were all moored there around on the coast. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's become more and more popular. But I mean, I love it. Also for the people. They only have to work half a year, and the other half of the year they can concentrate on other things. So
of course.
It's good for them, And they are just such. The Ligurian in itself are delicate people, to say the least. They are very, because of their nature. It was the only part of Italy who was never invaded by strangers, so they're very proud of it. But once you get to know them, then you have a different relationship. But they can be considered a little bit standoffish and distant. But once you get to know them, you're part of the family.
Course. And Italians, they like hospitality, and They are generous people.
Yeah, and I mean it's just hospitality is a part of it.
Yeah.
You're being a part of the family. Come in,
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
welcome. While here, forgive me, but the services, the level of service is quite appalling. Also in France in general, forgive me.
Very friendly. I love it. Spend a lot of time. Now I'm thinking to spend some time in winter also for skiing.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, it's almost 1 hour.
Yeah.
Thank you for.
Thank you.